Do you ever just turn on your computer and go to your local secondhand website like Craigslist or Gumtree and just sit there and browse through the random motorcycles that are for sale and just imagine all of the projects you could be having? Yeah, I do too. Except this time, I actually bought something. I came across a little yellow pit bike which looked horrible, so I just had to click on it. And when I mean horrible, it looked horrible. Rust everywhere, the color fading from the sun, and it didn't start. So I just had to message the owner. I just shot him a text saying, "Hey, is the pit bike still available? Can you give me some more information about the pit bike?" He swiftly replied back with, "Hey, the pit bike is still available." So we just hopped straight into the car. And by the time we got back home, it was already dark. We unloaded the pit bike and tried just kicking it to see if we got extremely lucky. But of course we didn't. So I just put the pit bike in the shed and forgot about it for about 2 weeks. Until today. So, here it is. Secret little project I bought. It's been sitting here for a little while. It's a little pit bike. I don't even know what brand it is. It doesn't say anywhere on it. There's no stickers, no nothing. I literally know nothing about this thing. The only thing I know is that it's been sitting for a while, it doesn't start, but it is complete. Let's see if we can get it out of here. It is an incredibly hard push because the rear tire is completely flat. So let's just see if we can get some air into it. I mean, yeah, this is just completely flat. I hope it still holds some air, because this is, yeah, completely gone. Amazing. It seems like it's holding air. I don't know if it's leaking or not, but it feels nice and hard. Put about 2 bars into it. Let's see if this goes flat overnight. So I've had this thing for like 2 weeks now. It has just been sitting in the shed behind my R125 project, which you cannot see right now. And it's been so difficult to not touch it, but the R125 has been taking priority. But today I just figured, hey, I can't wait any longer. Let's go freaking do it. Now, a funny coincidence actually my sister noticed is on the number board. It says 99, which is my house number, which is pretty funny. I did do a little bit of digging around earlier and I saw there was like a number here. Don't know if you guys can see it, but it says 125 FMI, which from what I could find online means it's a 125cc live fan engine, which is awesome. So it's a 125cc pit bike that I bought for 50 bucks that currently doesn't run. Now the engine is free, it has compression. I checked that before I bought it, which is good. Now it's a 125 live fan engine, as I said, which supposedly makes around 9 horsepower, which should be pretty fun on something this size. Let's see if there's anything in here. Can you see anything? I can see a tiny amount of fuel in there. Probably nothing good. Now something I already find really annoying is it has no kickstand. It came without one. So let's see if I can find one in the shed. All those bags and boxes you see there have mini 4-stroke stuff in it. So I must be able to find a kickstand, right? I found one, which is one of those middle stands, so no good for me. I couldn't really find one right away, but let's just worry about getting this bike running before we actually start wasting time on those details. Oh, I actually haven't tried just straight kicking it without anything, so let's just give it a shot. I sadly didn't get that lucky, but it does smell like fuel though. And like the plastic is like so brittle, it's full of cracks. The seat is actually in a really nice condition, only one little tear here, but the plastic is so brittle. I snapped this just by kicking it. I accidentally bumped it and it just cracked the whole fender. And didn't even really hit it that hard, but it just cracked the whole fender. Now actually, before we do anything, let's check if it has any oil. Took this off already. Let's check. And it does. That doesn't look too bad actually. Awesome. While trying to tighten the oil cap back on, it just completely like cracked. So I was worried I freaking ruined it. But it's actually just like a silver cap they put onto it. So it's still good. Thank God. I'm just going to take off one side of the brittle plastics, like this one, so I can get some better access to the carb. The hardware holding this shit together is just completely rusted. Okay, scrap that idea. All the hardware is just so rusted on the bike that it's just falling apart when I try to take it off. I'm just gonna leave everything on there and fiddle with the carb like this, because I cannot be bothered right now. So I've got an old empty water bottle which I'm going to use to drain the fuel into to see how bad it is, because I'm sure this has been sitting way too long and there's a lot of junk in it. Alright, that actually doesn't look too bad. Considering this is the last of the fuel in the tank, which normally should take all the dirt with it. There's only one tiny speck of dirt in there which I can see, so that's actually not too bad. I had to cut the wire to the car because it was just caked on there. But we'll get a new one on there. So next on the list is checking out the carb. Okay, the carb is out. So I think it's fair to say that the air filter is completely trash. So let's just take this off. And of course this boot is so old and caked on there. And yeah, we just ripped it. So it's a Chinese carburetor, Xing whatever that's supposed to mean. Now the choke does absolutely nothing. And in here, I don't know if you guys will be able to see that, but this inner part right here is just completely destroyed and scarred and looks like it just got caught onto something and it's completely ruined. So that doesn't look too good. I'm no expert on carburetors, but I don't think they're supposed to look like that. Yeah, that's what I mean. Don't know if you guys can see this, but this is the scarring I'm referring to. This looks pretty broken. To be honest, I'm just gonna try and see if I can save this cheap Chinese carburetor, which is probably 20 bucks. But I have a good one laying in the garage, which I'm just going to fit on the pit bike because I just want that thing to be able to ride as soon as possible. So let's just go and grab it. So the carburetor was definitely full of fuel because there's fuel all over the place now, and it was definitely dirty because I can see all kinds of chunks in the fuel that came out. But as I said, we'll just worry about this later. And here we have it, the good carburetor. It's a little bit more beefy. Has a nice foam air filter. It's pretty much brand new. It says it's a Mikuni. I don't know if it's a real one or a replica, but it is a nice carburetor compared to the one that was on there. And this one is fully functional, and it has a gasket that didn't break because this gasket just completely broke because it was so brittle. Now let's see if we can get this one fitted. Now let's try and get this one on. Chunks of brittle plastic falling out from all over this bike. Don't even know where this came from. Right, so the stock manifold's off. Let's see if the other one fits on here. Air filter is a little bit big though. Alright, the new carb is on and this air filter is looking ridiculous on this bike. Let's just hook up the tank to the carburetor and let's see if it does anything right now. Okay, so to be fair, the fuel that was in there was actually pretty bad, so I here have a jar of some fresh fuel that I'm going to put in there. I don't know how much this is, but it should be good to get it running. This should have been just over half a liter of fuel. I have a really small piece of fuel hose. This is the only thing I have left, so I hope it's gonna be enough to get around the big ass air filter that's on there now. Alright, it's on there. It should be good enough for now. I don't know if you can really see it, but I had to turn the petcock inwards, otherwise it would not reach. It's just for testing. Let's see if we can get it running now. Okay, so that camera died. I've been kicking it for the last 10 minutes before realizing the freaking kill switch was on the whole time. I can hear it sucking air through this new air filter. Petcock is on. It's getting fuel because I can smell I can smell it. I opened up the choke on the new carb, so let's try again. I'm just gonna try and kicking it until something happens. I'm just gonna start recording again when something does happen. Alright, so I decided to pull the plugs. This is the one that was in it. It didn't really work. Then I found these two laying around, which looked pretty decent, but they were too big. And then I found this one and the one that's in here now. These are both NGK plugs. I just popped this one in, cleaned it up a little bit with sanding paper, and this one has a nice spark. I'm kinda unable to show you guys because I'm holding my phone because my other camera right there died. I also moved to the shade because I was getting too hot kicking the bike. But this one definitely sparks, nice and bright. Sorry I cannot show you guys, but you guys will just have to believe me. But yeah, let's pop this one back in the engine and hopefully get a result. I also found a really janky throttle cable, which I can hopefully like ghetto fit into that standard throttle tube because it didn't come with a cable. Well, it did come with a cable actually, but this little end was broken off, So I found this one in my bin. Found this one in the bin next to the spark plugs. So let's see. Let's pop that spark plug back in. Moment of truth, guys. It's in. Oh my god. How am I going to film this? Because I have to watch out I don't drop it, because my side stand is my wall, because it didn't come with one. I don't know how I'm gonna do this. Oh no. I'll be back, guys. Considering the condition this little pit bike is in, the inside looks pretty clean. Now I'm just trying to take this throttle assembly apart to see if I can ghetto fit a cable in there, but these, I don't know if you guys can see it, yeah, these nuts have rounded off this plastic, so it's impossible to try and get them out, so this is going to be a pain in the ass. Easy. Okay, so as you guys can hear, the pit bike runs, kind of. It is sucking in air somewhere, there's a leak somewhere, which is causing it to idle really high. No matter how much we adjust the idle screw, it's still messed up, so we will have to adjust it. But we were able to fit the throttle cable into the new carb, and we were able to use the old throttle assembly, which is awesome. I also tried making cardboard gaskets to see if that would help with the leak problem. It didn't. Little food break. And then we put the pit bike away because it was getting too dark. I think this is very promising. We know it works. 50 bucks, well spent in my opinion. Let's see if we can get it dialed in and working properly in the next episode.